Cowboy Bebop. What a train wreck. First of all, you have an actress which, in her infinite wisdom, decides to give sass to the customer and mocks the customer because the actress, which was supposed to look the part, didn't look the part. And she's like, oh my god, well, what do you want me to do? I can't wear that revealing attire with my body. My feminine body is real. The anime girl is fake. Even though, if you watch cosplayers, you will see that there were many people which could look the part. But again, the worst thing you can do in a business, if you want to make money, if you want to put food on the table, is to give sass to the customer and antagonize the customer, which seems to be the American progressive way, forward-thinking way of doing business nowadays. Another thing that Cowboy Bebop did wrong is, as you can see on the screen here, the cringe. Some anime doesn't translate well into live adaptation. I mean, this thing, a pretty girl stuffing her face in the camera, in an anime it looks good, but when you actually put a human actor to do it, it looks horrible. So because of that, Cowboy Bebop didn't get a season 2, was a commercial flop. There were many writers that love to antagonize the customer and then blame the customer for not watching. I'm not kidding. I mean, these people, they probably have some fetish. It's like they think that the customer is the pay piggy. They're the dominatrix, like whipping, the cracking the whip on Twitter. It's like, and the customer like, pay me more money, pay piggy. Oh, pay piggy, why aren't you watching the show? People didn't watch, okay? Progressive people didn't watch. No one watched it, which is why it flopped. But the critics loved it. So you gotta ask the question, like, what do the critics know that we don't? Are they like a Shaolin monk following the path of criticism, dedicating their entire life to criticizing movie, like managing to find something in Cowboy Bebop that the rest of the world doesn't know? Because even the critics didn't watch it, because I guarantee to you, like, if the critics would watch it, then this show would have maybe had like 40 viewers. But it did. No one watched it. I can't even criticize it because I haven't watched it. I haven't even hate-watched it. But why would it get an Emmy nomination if no one watched it? It's because the game is rigged. The nominations are set before the event, so basically they knew that this needs to get nominated regardless of ratings because of the people making it, okay? It's all about ideology. Like, they think the correct things, and it doesn't matter if they make the good entertainment. It's kind of like back in the old days, when if you're an aristocrat and wrote a book, all the other aristocrats were like, because it was something of an aristocratic culture. Like, you had to promote other aristocrats, and you had to suppress the peasants from getting in on the industry. And this is exactly what's happening. And I'll tell you something else. There was the Hugo Awards back in the day. Now, the Hugo Awards, allegedly, is supposed to award the best sci-fi book and fantasy. Now, a lot of people noticed that they got ideologically infiltrated, and all the books that were being promoted were social justice stories and written by diverse authors. Now, in order to participate as the jury, as the critics for the Hugo Awards, you had to pay a fee, and then you could actually vote on whichever author or book you liked. So people got on the far-right extremist website called Reddit, and they decided that enough is enough, and they said, all right, well, we're going to pitch in money, we're going to select a couple of Redditors, and they're going to go in there, and they're going to actually vote books based on merit. And they talked on Reddit, and they said, okay, well, let's analyze this book, and let's talk about this book. And they actually did what the critics should do and decide based on merit. And some of the books were written by people of color, because they were good, okay? But some of them were written by the incorrect people of color, because even if you're a person of color, okay, if you don't support the ideology, if you don't promote the cause, if you're Kanye West, they don't like you. So everyone freaked out, okay? Because these people were called the sad puppies. It was people who are sick and tired of fantasy books that make puppies sad, because that was everything, right? It's like social justice. It's like, look at the oppression. Oh my god, like this person is so oppressed. This culture is being oppressed and oppressed this and oppressed that. And then we're like, okay, well, we're sick and tired of the same story being pushed over and over again. Let's promote other stories. And because of that, they were called the sad puppies. And when they actually voted authors based on merit, like for once, you could have looked at a Hugo Award and was like, yeah, you know what, this might be a book that I enjoy reading. Oh my god, The Guardian, the BBC, like all the mainstream media were like, oh, a couple of far right people are infiltrating the Hugo Awards, and R.R. Martin was also... And they were freaking out. They were freaking out because for once in their fucking lifetime, the awards actually went to people that deserved it. Alright? Like, feel free to look at who the sad puppies nominated and tell me which book shouldn't have been there. And in exchange, I will tell you, after and before the sad puppies, which books shouldn't have gotten the Hugo Prize. And I'm willing to bet that my list is going to be longer than yours, if you can even put a title there. But this is how they gatekeep. Alright? Like, this is how they have created a clique of like-minded ideological individuals who don't have to talk to each other, but like they know the buzzwords and the triggers that an author needs to use, and they know the pedigree and the heritage of an author in order to promote their work. So this is why you get this, you know, and unfortunately, I have reached the level when I literally look at a book, and if I see that it's being promoted by, I don't know, the New York Times bestseller title, or if I see that it's got an Emmy nomination, I run away. I'm not even bothered reading it. Like, it goes right into my block list. And so far, I haven't made many mistakes. And it's sad, you know, same with the Oscars, like Best Picture. When you look at the Oscars, Best Picture this year, Best Picture the previous year, and the year before that, I guarantee you haven't seen those movies. You probably don't even know what those movies are about, and I don't blame you because I don't either. Now, if you go to the Oscars Best Picture, and you go back in time and you have titles like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or you have titles like Forrest Gump, Titanic, I'm pretty sure you've seen those movies. Dance with the Wolves. Maybe you didn't like them, but I guarantee to you that you see them. In fact, I guarantee, like, you go to one of those old Best Picture awards from the Oscars, you look at it today, you would still enjoy that movie. Because that's how people used to award in the past. I don't know how the fuck they did it. I don't know how the fuck they did it, because apparently art is subjective, right? Like, subjective. They shouldn't be able to tell. In fact, you shouldn't have these prizes anyway, because if it's subjective, how can you say that this is the best picture? But for some reason, from some mystical and mysterious reason, the people who are giving awards in the past would say that this movie is good, and if you were to watch it today, you would agree with them. Maybe not on every single decision, but like surely 90% of the movies that got Best Picture awards, you would watch them today and you'd say, oh wow, like this is actually a great film. This is actually good stuff. Nowadays is the opposite. I guarantee to you that if you watch the Best Picture from the Oscars this year and last year, you're going to say it's absolute horseshit. You're going to say it's a garbage film. So anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.